Hello. Today I'm sharing my mind on the subject of freedom. Well, just some time ago, I was yet doing my volunteering job. Those who watch my videos more or less regularly, they know that I volunteer for the Olympic Games, Youth Olympic Games currently. And today they just discovered that there will be less work to do, and they offered for several volunteers that they can go home. Suddenly, I got free. I experienced freedom, and I didn't know really what to do because all my other activities I actually sacrificed. I put them aside. I said that now I devote myself to volunteering, so other things can wait. And suddenly I get freedom, and I like, what can I do? And here I remember this question of freedom which arose the other day when I was introducing myself to one of the groups of Russian-speaking people in all over the world. And I was introducing myself, telling about my travel experience, about my life preferences, kind of my current life, current style of life. And in one of the comments, a woman said, "Wow, I would like to have that freedom too. How to begin? What to start with to be so free?" Well, and that was the question that I understood is not just to answer back in the comment, because it is much more vast, and actually it is an important question. Freedom, I would say, is the essence of life. Like, many people search, what am I for here in life? And I would say freedom is one of those essentials that we are here for, to learn about freedom. And then now, when I remembered this, I decided to make a video so that answering this question, more people can benefit rather than just one person who asked it on Facebook. So, as I recorded already one video in Russian, I know more or less what I'm going to talk about, although actually I prefer usually speak freely without previous thinking about it, so that there is some flow comes with contemplation on the question, and I can really follow the flow and make it most natural. Well, as it appeared with the first video in Russian, I understood that I can't really give the answer in one video, and I will have to make a sequence of videos talking about this question, because as I already said, it is a vast question, and this one is going to be just an introductory video talking about freedom. So I define freedom as absence of contradiction. When there is acceptance, when there is this very flow, when you flow with what is happening and you don't reject it, then there is freedom. Well, but before continuing to go deeper in the concept of freedom, I want just to warn you. Do you really want to be free? Because, well, here, yeah, I should mention that I'm not going to talk about freedom as all capital letters, freedom. Because actually, I'm not yet there. I'm not an enlightened person. I consider only enlightened people, fully awakened people can have that freedom. And I'm not. I'm just on the way awakening. And I can talk to you from the heights of where I am, from the distance of where I am, where I have reached. So here we can speak only about, let's say, social freedom, not the freedom from everything, from life, because this life is already the absence of freedom. Because just look, we can't choose not to get sick, right? We want to be healthy. This is our choice. This is our freedom. This is choice of our freedom not to get sick. But sometimes anyway we get sick. Same is about dying. We can't choose not to die. We can be more cautious, but still it doesn't guarantee. We can't choose not to sleep. Well, you can stay awake for the whole night. You can stay awake even 2 nights. I stayed awake 3 nights, meditating 3 days in a row when I was taking one of the courses of Vipassana of 3 weeks, 21 days, and then 3 last days we were not sleeping. But I saw what was happening to my body, and this wasn't my choice. This wasn't my freedom of having it as it is, and I can't say that I wasn't rejecting it. My body was really contradicting to not sleeping. I saw the states like happening, states of passing through different stages of what happens to us if we try not to sleep. This was the nature of happening to this body if we try to do something against the nature of our being. Our nature is to fall asleep physically and then also mentally. We are asleep from awakening, and then we fall asleep on the physical level too. And so we don't have freedom from life. My video was interrupted by a sudden telephone call, and I left the bench to go and talk to the person, and when I came back, the bench was taken already by someone, so I had to look for another bench. Then I had to also to go and listen what I recorded so far so that I can get back to the idea. So I could change the place, and I feel like the flow has gone with the place or with the moment. But anyway, I will try to come back to the idea of what I was talking about, freedom. And I was on the examples of how we are not free from this life. And so we can't get free from life anyway. Well, we can, of course we can, but this is completely different freedom. Here I'm going to talk about freedom in the society. Well, I'm not the right guide yet to explain to you about liberation from lack of freedom, absence of freedom in life. I am myself I'm not awakened, I'm only awakening. I am on my way, so I can share my experiences and we can go there together. But here I'm going to explain more about the freedom of our personality, let's say, our character, our behavior. Because this is something that it's not only me who considers myself a free person. It's also others who remark this, and people say that they feel so much freedom in me, and they would like to learn a bit of this. So, well, then before getting deeper in the subject, I still want to warn you. Are you sure you want to be free? You know, that's not such an easy thing to be free, because being free means being different. Like, you know, if you're asking now how to become free, it means you are not. It means that many people are not, and many even don't ask the question. But then they at least stay more or less together, because they have more or less same understanding. They follow. Actually, people who are not free, they follow many rules, and if not rules, then just some silent rules, just some concepts, ideas, opinions. They follow the opinions of the society. They often do something because others do, because others consider it right to do like this, because they are told like that. And when you become free, you also become honest, because you feel something different. You start feeling more, you start thinking deeper, seeing more clearly, and then you can't just go against what you feel right. You can't pretend anymore. So since you can't pretend, you can't do many things like others do, and then they feel your difference and they consider you wrong. Well, and for you this becomes like hurting. You feel hurt that others don't understand you. You started understanding something deeper. You discovered something which actually is very favorable for life. And suddenly you suffer from that because you feel not accepted. Well, I would say this is a good sign. As to me, I consider that feeling alone, feeling abandoned, feeling not understood means that you are on the right way. This is the right way. So this idea should help you when you feel so much isolated maybe from others. You can be among others, you can spend time with them, but you will constantly feel this. This is kind of the first stage of freedom happening, coming, developing in you when you feel among others that you can't participate in the same very conversation or doing same things because you see no sense in them, because you see those things wrong or maybe useless, senseless is better to say. And then you feel like you've discovered freedom and you see the behavior of others which is so much restricted. And at this stage, when you just discovered it, you feel so much contradiction with that how come they are so much restricted? I learned it, I know it, I'm free. You should be free too. Your state of being kind of depends on them too, because discovering freedom, you suddenly feel bothered not only by yourself anymore, you feel like you are not just yourself, you are all, and all is also, you care for all. But then this is the trick. This is the trick because you start contradicting, you start separating, you start rejecting that no, you shouldn't be like this, you should be free, you shouldn't be limited on your mind, on your actions, you should be free, you want to teach them, you want to change them, and then you are not free anymore, because freedom is when you flow, freedom is when you accept, freedom is when it just happens and you are not disturbed by that. But at the first stage there is this really contradiction, the society and you, because you become different. The society starts treating you differently. They have expectations on you and you cannot follow those expectations because, as I said, you start becoming honest and sincere. You see things differently and you can't be any more like everyone else. And then, although you have people around, you feel yourself lonely and this becomes sad. But as I said, this is a good sign because this is also a test for you. Whether you are really free, then you will go on with this. You will learn yourself with your characteristics, new characteristics. You will learn others with the characteristics that they have. You will not try to make them like you, because you will also be able to understand, percept. This is never intellectual understanding. This is kind of some feeling that then you can intellectualize if you want to describe it to somebody, to explain or to discuss, because you understand that before you were also like that, you participated in the same, and now you don't find it senseful, you do differently, but life is possible in both ways. Before you were like that too. So you were living. So now they're also living. Kind of, this is life, this is life. These are different characteristics of life. So next will be the movement in the direction of accepting that you are getting this freedom, but it doesn't mean that everybody should become free as you are. They'd better too, they would enjoy it more. But you understand that life is not just about being right or about being better. Life is so diverse. And as you move with that, this freedom will be really testing you. People might be upset about you. People might say that you are becoming worse, while you are happy that you are becoming kind of better. This is what you feel. But you shouldn't expect to be praised, because if you expect for something, you will be disappointed. You have this appointment of how things should be, then if there is appointment, there will be disappointment. And again, there is no this freedom. Freedom is when it's okay, whatever. Because you trust. Yeah, freedom involves trust. because you trust that whatever happens, it happens for the life. It happens for me, it happens on the path. Anyway, I'm walking my path. And I think with that, I gave more or less the explanation of the subject of freedom. I warned you, be careful. You're going to experience discomfort in the society. You're going to doubt yourself, that maybe you are really wrong, that everybody understands each other and nobody understands you. But this is just a sign of free thinking. And then I should develop different subjects of what freedom contains, what components, what characteristics in my next videos. Thank you for listening my mind sharing. Goodbye.